The information shared on Light Body Radio is for educational and informational purposes only. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, licensed healthcare provider, or qualified wellness practitioner with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or health goal. Dr. Lara May, her guests, and affiliates do not claim to cure, prevent, or treat any condition and are not responsible for any actions taken based on the information shared in this podcast. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own health decisions and that any actions you take based on the content are at your own discretion and risk. Thank you for tuning in to Light Body Radio.
Welcome to Light Body Radio, where science meets soul and healing gets multidimensional. I am your host, Dr. Lara May, functional medicine pharmacist, master intuitive Reiki channel, and certified life and health coach. Here we decode root causes, transmute stuck energy, and empower your full spectrum healing journey, body, mind, and light body. This isn't just wellness, it's awakening, grounded in science, guided by spirit, and designed for your evolution. Let's rise and radiate. Welcome to the next level of you. Hello and welcome to Light Body Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Lara May. And in today's Wellness Illuminated episode, we're talking about something deceptively simple, but absolutely foundational. And it's called light, the sunshine. So we're going to talk about light, rhythm, and how they shape your energy, your hormones, and your healing. So if you've been feeling foggy, sluggish, moody, wired and tired, if no supplement is seeming to help, and if you wake up more tired in the morning than when you went to bed, it definitely could be a sign that your circadian rhythm is off, is out of sync. And so today we're diving into what I call the Sunshine Protocol, a practical soul-supporting approach to reset your light biology and restore adrenal resilience. So why is the circadian rhythm the first domino in a lot of the things that we talk about in terms of inflammation, chronic inflammation, healing, feeling better, not feeling better, the whole thing? So let's start here. Your body runs on a rhythm, in a cycle. It's how we're literally made up. Like, we are human beings on a planet that is dependent upon that big light energetic ball in the sky called the sun. And so our cells, our hormones, our mood, our metabolism, they're all governed by an internal clock that is dependent upon the sun. And when that clock is off, when your circadian rhythm is off, then everything else falls apart. And I just want to say too that I say this and I come to you today as a former shift, I'm still a shift worker. I'm working swing shift when I work for the hospital system that I work for. But for a long time, over 10 years, I was a graveyard pharmacist. And so I definitely understand what it's like to be working in opposition to the sun, for sure. So, and the damage that it can do to our bodies, because I've done it. I've done the damage. I've been through it, and I've come out the other side. And so I want to help you also know that even if you decide that you can't escape that graveyard schedule, because I know I work with a lot of amazing people that is, what helps supports their family and their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so there are still ways we can help ourselves as much as possible. So, all right, I'll get back to it. That's my little 2 cents, the personal story behind this. So your master clock. So there's this thing called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Say that 3 times fast. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. You have a master timekeeper in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And it sits in your hypothalamus and runs your circadian rhythm. So what sets this clock though? Like what gets it, like what manages it? What makes it go or not go? And turns out it's light, the sunlight. So not food, not caffeine, not any other stimulants or nootropics, not willpower, but light. And specifically the early morning sunlight and that very specific frequency that the sun puts off at that time of day. And so when we don't get enough of this morning light, or when we're getting too much blue light at night, our clock gets confused. So our cortisol will peak at the wrong time. Our melatonin will get suppressed because the conversion from serotonin to melatonin is also light dependent. So that blue light interrupts that. And that's why it's so important to avoid the blue light before bed, like up to 2 to 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours before bed, depending on your body. And so your body doesn't know when to rest or when to rise. And so again, this is really where a lot of our burnout foundation starts. So what can circadian chaos look like? And again, these are things we talk about a lot, but it's worth re-mentioning specifically in this context for today's episode. So trouble falling asleep, waking up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., feeling exhausted in the morning, feeling wired and tired at night, brain fog that never goes away, blood sugar crashes, cravings for sweets and or I guess salt too. A salt craving is a different reflection of micronutrient deficiencies, but specifically sweets cravings are directly related to glycemic control and blood sugar management. Mood swings, anxiety, hormone imbalance, all of this is a reflection of circadian chaos. So does any of this sound familiar to you? Does any of this resonate? Or did you say, oh yeah, I have that? Or, ooh, I've got that, and that. So you can take all the supplements in the world. You can supplement yourself to death. But if our light rhythm is off, then we're really swimming upstream. And this is a hard truth I had to come to terms with at one point in my career. And I had to decide if it's time to make some changes. So let's move now into the functional medicine nitty-gritty. So talking about the chemicals, the chemistry of our body. So our adrenal hormones, specifically cortisol and DHEA, they also follow a circadian rhythm. And they're deeply tied to our energy levels, our immune function, and then that translates to how resilient we are or feel. And so let's start with our cortisol. So we can call this the morning spark plug. Cortisol should peak in the morning to wake us up. It should energize us, and it should also actually help regulate inflammation. So if you are in one of my ICUs with septic shock, one of the things that we treat that with are steroids. It could be Solumedrol or dexamethasone or hydrocortisone. Dexamethasone is a core treatment in the inflammation cascade associated with that little thing that happened in the pandemic that I won't say because YouTube will demonetize me. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, cortisol actually does help regulate inflammation. But when the rhythm is off, then our cortisol can either be too low in the morning, so that would be morning sluggishness, brain fog, and cravings, or it's too high at night, cue the anxiety, the racing thoughts, and the poor sleep quality. And if there's too much or too little, then that is also inflammatory to our system. So our body is constantly operating within like little Goldilocks ranges, that just right. And anything above or anything below is going to be inflammatory, most likely. So the next piece, the DHEA, we'll call this the calm counterbalance. So DHEA is your anti-aging, anti-stress hormone. It actually is the precursor to all of the sex hormones. So if you don't have enough of it, then that could be one of those first metabolic pathways to look at when you're looking at restoring your hormone balance. So it buffers the wear and tear from cortisol and supports your immune system, mood, muscle tone, again, because it's the precursor. So like if you don't have enough DHEA, maybe, especially if you're a woman, your body stops making enough testosterone. If you don't have enough testosterone, even if you're working out, you might notice that it's harder for you to build muscle and or keep muscle on. And so this is sort of how this is all connected. So when you're burnt out, your DHEA flatlines, you lose resilience, you feel depleted, you struggle to bounce back from stress. And so we can clearly see this not in your test results. So we would do a 4-point cortisol, or what we call a 24-hour collect. And then we can also do a DHEA saliva test. So these are some of the most valuable tools I use in my practice, and they are included in definitely my new program that's coming out. And I was about to say all of it, but if I have a client that's not coming to me with a lot of these burnout symptoms, then I don't test. I don't test for anything that's not necessary, obviously. But then I was like, well, actually, almost everyone that comes to me is suffering from some sort of burnout. So it has become, it wasn't a part of the core original in the design when I set my practice up, but it has become quickly part of the core bundle that I order for my clients. So it shows us your circadian rhythm in real time. So again, in functional medicine, we don't guess, we test. And so based on these results, we can actually start targeting specifically your healing journey. What do your metabolic pathways look like right now? What are they doing? And how do we need to compensate and start rebalancing and recalibrating them? So the next piece of this is mitochondria. So morning light and that energy reset. So your mitochondria, the little cellular engines of each individual cell, are light sensitive, turns out. And so the morning light stimulates them to produce the ATP that is your body's energy currency. So it helps regulate fat metabolism. It helps regulate inflammation resolution, DNA repair, and so many facets of your brain function. So sunlight first thing in the morning, the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking up, can literally recharge your cells or tell them to, okay, it's time to start making that ATP. It's time to provide that energy that I need for the day. So if you're not getting that morning light, your mitochondria are automatically going to be at a lesser or underpowered, especially if you're dealing with chronic stress, chronic infections or an acute infection, mold overgrowth, parasites, a wide variety of things. So if your system is otherwise occupied with trying to fix something downstream, then you're already sort of like starting from behind the starting line, so to speak. And so it becomes even more important for you to do. And so that's why the Sunshine Protocol starts before any supplementation. You can just start with light, movement, and rhythm. So we have 5 core anchors in this protocol that I've created. So let's walk you through it. So first thing is early morning light exposure. Get outside within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. No sunglasses, no windows, even on cloudy days. The lux from the natural light calibrates your circadian rhythm. So 10 minutes minimum. Bonus points for walking barefoot on the grass or the dirt, so grounding yourself. This also helps support your immune system. Number 2, consistent wake and sleep times. This is core to sleep hygiene, y'all. Your body loves rhythm. It is already naturally cyclic. So let's help support that and maintain that by having a consistent wake up time, even on the weekends. If you wake up at 4 a.m. to go to work, wake up around the same time on the weekends to keep your body in the same cycle. And aim for sleep. I mean, if you're waking up at 4, I assume you should be going to bed around 9, maybe 8. I know when I was waking up that early on a consistent basis, I was going to bed between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. So, but at least for maybe everyone that normal that doesn't wake up at the butt crack of dawn like that, aim for sleep by 10 p.m. This supports your natural sleep cycle, so your natural melatonin production, your detox pathways, your adrenal repair. All of this starts within that window of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So really being asleep by 10 p.m. is really going to help optimize these functions and allow your body to work at its best. So let's talk about the timing of the light. Bright light in the morning is the signal to rise. Dim, red, or amber light at night is the signal to rest. So you'll see a lot of biohackers these days wearing the amber lens glasses. I actually found some readers that are amber, if you can see, because of the shift work that I'm still doing. It's not graves, but I'm still doing swings. And so I wanted to, cut down on the amount of blue light that I'm sort of forced is not the word I want to use, but I'll use it anyway, to be exposed to by nature of what I do. And so I found some glasses that can help mitigate that blue light. So you want the red or amber light at night. No screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. And this is a hard one for me too. And then again, use blue light blockers if you need to. I do. A lot of people do. There's nothing wrong with it. If we have the tools, let's use them, people. They're like, don't judge yourself for having to use a tool. That's what they're there for. Let's use them. Let's actually help ourselves. Think of your light exposure like nutrition for your mitochondria and hormones. So the next piece is the functional testing that we talked about before. So there's that 4-point salivary cortisol and DHEA test to map your 24-hour cycle. So if your cortisol is backwards or flatlined, then your system needs very specific support. So again, test, don't guess. This gives us the roadmap to repair your adrenals properly without guesswork. So without unnecessary supplementation. It's really important to know. So mitochondrial recharging practices, what do those look like? First thing is gentle morning movement. So that could be a walk. Maybe you start combining a walk to get your eyeballs also to that sunlight. Maybe you're walking the dog first thing in the morning. Could be yoga. I love doing yoga in the morning in my sunroom, facing the direction that the sun is coming up. It's, really great for the soul. Targeted mitochondrial nutrients. So this is where we start to talk about some supplementation. Again, nothing is one size fits all. So it's always better to test where you are rather than to just start taking things you may not need. But key mitochondrial nutrients include CoQ10, the B vitamins, which I always recommend the methylated formulations, and magnesium. And magnesium you would take at night because it is a natural smooth muscle relaxer. So it will help you relax and should help you get to sleep. Other things that we can do to help our mitochondria: infrared sauna, really, really great. Or red light therapy if you have that available. And then breath work and other things to help stress mitigation and to regulate our nervous system. So the breath work is really going to help oxygenate your blood and your tissues, and to actually re-equilibrate your acid-base balance. You can do that. You can affect your acid-base balance in the body by breathing, turns out. So when you support your mitochondria and your circadian rhythm together, your burnout starts to actually dampen down and reverse itself really fast. So let's wrap this up a little bit. Rhythm is medicine. So the truth is, most people, most of us in the Western world these days, are exhausted not because they're doing too little, but because we're doing so much and our biology is out of sync with the natural rhythms we were born for. So we don't need to do more. We need to align more. We need to align with the light, with the sunlight. We need to align with regular waking and sleep patterns. We need to align with our internal clock. So the Sunshine Protocol is pretty simple. It's very powerful. And I think it's the missing link for a lot of us being stuck in burnout loops and cycles. So if you're ready to reset your light biology, ready to heal your rhythm and rebuild your energy from the root, then I invite you to join the waitlist and get on a discovery call for the Burnout to Brilliance program that's coming up. We'll be diving deeper into all of these things. You will have personalized functional medicine testing. We will go through energy restoration practices, through soul alignment and life coaching exercises, and we will really evaluate and approach your full circadian rhythm recovery throughout the program. So go to drlaramay.com/brilliance, or there'll be a link you can click on below too. But yeah, so you will get exclusive one-on-one support. There will be early access opportunities, waitlist bonuses, all the good stuff. And so definitely go there. You can also go to drlaramay.com/disco to book a one-on-one discovery call with me to ask me personally all your questions and to see if this program is a good fit for you. We're only taking 10 clients within this first cohort, within this first go around. And so if you're really feeling the call, I definitely encourage you to sign up for a discovery call. Talk to me. We'll figure out to see where you are. If it's a good fit, great. If it's not, no worries. And yeah, so we'll get you started. So either drlaramay.com/brilliance or drlaramay.com/disco for the call. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. And next week, we are actually going to be talking about the next Wellness Illuminated episode. Was actually in 2 weeks, not next week, but we'll be talking about something that I am also really excited about called QHHT. It is a deep hypnotic healing method that I am becoming certified in. So I wanted to bring you all this new and amazing possibility for healing. It's really exciting, super powerful. And so I'm excited to tell you all about that and bring you that in the next Wellness Illuminated episode. So until then, remember that you are made of light, and all you have to do is connect with that light to start healing and rebalancing your body. Thank you guys. See you in the next episode.
Thank you for joining me on Light Body Radio, where functional medicine meets intuitive healing and transformation happens on every level. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and if you're ready to go deeper, visit drlaramay.com to book a functional medicine consultation or an intuitive healing session. Whether you need to rebalance your body, clear your energetic blocks, or reconnect with your soul's purpose, I've got you. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Dr. Lara May for daily inspiration, energy updates, and healing tools. Remember, your healing is multidimensional, and so are you. Until next time, honor your body, trust your intuition, and activate your light.